What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the BnG podcast, episode 101. And it's a special occasion. It's a commemorative episode because, guys, this is our first ever recording after us hitting our 1,000 subscriber threshold over there on YouTube. So we have finally hit 1K subscribers. I couldn't have done it without you guys. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate every last single one of you guys. And guess what? We're on the road to 2K. Then on the road to 5K. Then on the way to 10K. Because guess what? I need my plaque from YouTube. I need to hang my plaque over there on the wall. I need me a couple plaques from YouTube. They owe up. And guess what? I can't do it without you guys. But guess what? Since we hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, you know what that means. All my day one BnG fans and all my recent followers, you guys know exactly what that means. Since we hit that 1K subscriber threshold, I will be sending one of my lucky subscribers over to a Washington Commander game, one of the few games they have left. So guess what, guys? You got your pick of the litter. Is it the New York Giants? Is it the San Francisco 49ers? Is it the Dallas Cowboys? Is it the Miami Dolphins? So you got some heavy hitters to choose from. But guess what? I'm going to announce how you're going to be able to sign up, or not sign up, excuse me. How you're going to be able to, one of my subscribers are going to be able to potentially win those tickets to that game at the end of this video. So make sure you stick around, stick to the end of this video. So maybe you'll be that lucky subscriber that wins that ticket. And you over there in them good seats. You over there in my season ticket seats. So you know you in a low bowl, section 139. You go and get some amazing seats. And hopefully you have a good time on our behalf, on our dime over here at Bleeding BnG. So stick it out. Wait till the end of the video to hear how you can potentially be that lucky winner. But as I mentioned, this is episode 101 of the Bleeding BnG podcast, and to give you a timestamp as I do for every episode. Today is Sunday, November the 5th, and it's about 11:30 p.m. And the Washington Commanders are about 7 hours removed from defeating the New England Patriots, 20-17. That's an old school. That sounds like a 2007 Redskins score. Doesn't it? Well, not 2007 against the Patriots, because we know what that happens. But that sounds like an old school football Washington Redskins, old school 2000s football score. So the game was rather uneventful, but we're going to title this episode The Franchise? Question mark? We're going to title this episode The Franchise? Question mark? And the reason why is because with Sam Howell continuing to build on these games and continuing to string together good games, he's looking more and more like the long-term answer here in Washington, guys. That was my biggest takeaway from this game. This is a guy that went 29 for 45 passing attempts, 325 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and he took 3 sacks. And you know you got to mention the sack total in the Sam Howell stat line. That's just how it is. That's just the way the season is gone. And guess what? 3 sacks? Who wouldn't take 3 sacks knowing how the Washington Commander season is going? Being a Washington Commander fan. At this point, if you go into a Sunday and they telling you that you're going to take 3 sacks, hey, at this point, you're like, shit, I'll take it. You're like, shit, I'll take it. And you know you come over there for Bleeding BnG for the most raw, uncut, and unfiltered analysis. So let's give it to you. Sam Howell fucking balled today. I read off the stat line. He is one of only 2 quarterbacks to throw for over 300 yards against the vaunted New England Patriots defense this year. Him and Tua Tagovailoa being the other one. And Tua Tagovailoa only did it in one of his 2 games against the New England Patriots. These guys faced the likes of Josh Allen, who couldn't do it. But Sam Howell did. And you hear all the vaunted stories about how Bill Belichick is, how he gives these young first-year quarterbacks, these first-year starters, all these nightmares. Well, Sam Howell looked that shit in the face today and fucking laughed. He fucking laughed at the face of Bill Belichick's defense today. I read off the stat line. And like I told you, is this the franchise? In the DMV, we used to call him Steve Francis the franchise. Well, I think that might be the new nickname for Slinking Sammy Howell. QB1. Is this guy the long-term answer? Let me know what you think in the comments. Because I'm starting to feel that way. Over here, Bleeding BnG, we haven't been skeptical to say the least, but we haven't been quick to crown Sam, the chosen one. Because that our famous tagline is that, yeah, Sam Howell has A- arm talent. But at times he shows D- to F+ football IQ. Well, we haven't seen a D- to F+ football IQ in a couple weeks since the New York Giants game. But he's steadily showing off displays of this A-, that shit, A+ arm talent at this point. There were a couple throws a day and a couple plays that he made, not necessarily just throwing the ball, because we're going to touch on it, where I was like, yeah. And we've been hesitant to crown Sam Howell the guy. But if he keeps putting on performances like this, heavy is his head to wear this crown. And I might be ready to crown number 14 to be my quarterback for the future for the next decade. Take me to the promised land. I'm getting close. And it's not like he hasn't shown these things before, but we've been hesitant because, it seems that, the guys or the people that are in the Sam Howell camp, they seem to, not tag the negative aspects of this offense on Sam. And some of it is on Sam. Sam's internal clock hasn't been the fastest. He doesn't seem to be the fastest processor of the of reads and things like that. And this is something that translated back all the way to North Carolina. But he seems to be shaking it out, and he seems to be he seems to be improving week after week. And guess what? I told you week after week, I expect to take my lumps with a young quarterback. So none of this is surprising me. But if he can show me some of the flashes that he showed me today, and that he's been showing me in the last couple of weeks and shit that he's been showing me all season, I think as of right now, Sam Howell is second in the NFL in passing yards. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. If you would have told me that at the beginning of the season, you would have fucking thought that we was fucking 9-0 right now. And not 4-5. If you would have told me in 3 months ago, on August 5th, that Sam Howell would be the second leading passer in passing yards in week 9 of the NFL season, you would have thought that we were 9-0. So don't tell me you're not taking that. And don't tell me that you're not pleased with Sam Howell's performance throughout the year. This has got to hit 9 different receivers, and this seems to be a theme, and this seems to be a trend that we've been seeing throughout the season. Now, I'm sorry for Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson and Logan Thomas fantasy owners, but guess what? This might just be the staple of this offense. Sam runs the quarterback position like a point guard. And Jonathan Vilma touched on it earlier in the game. When you see him distributing the ball to so many different receivers, that's an indicator of him identifying the coverage early and he's not predictating his read. He's not about to go to his alpha receiver in Terry McLaurin. He's not about to hit his perceived wide receiver 2 in Jahan Dotson with predetermined reads. He's just going where the coverage dictates it. And what does that tell you? That boy been in the film room. He been watching film. Because Sam Howell, I ain't never seen you act like this before. Like I told you, I expect to take my lumps with the young quarterback. That one interception was a bad interception, but it was a result of him having arm arrogance. And shit, if I was throwing the ball around like he was doing today, word to Adrian Peterson, what did he say about Patrick Mahomes? When I saw him throw that ball, shit, I would have arm arrogance too. You know who else has interceptions due to arm arrogance? Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, the best. The best of the best. But if we can respond to that boneheaded interception, because it was a boneheaded interception, and it negated one of my favorite Sam Howell drives of the season. Let's not be remiss, though. That drive should have been over because De'Ami Brown should have caught that fucking touchdown pass on one of Sam's best throws of the fucking game. But it's De'Ami Brown. We told you 2 years ago, De'Ami Brown just be out that bitch running around. So what do you expect at this point? 2 years later, and he's still out that bitch just running around. So you can't put too much in the stock of De'Ami Brown, but he did ruin another perfect throw for my quarterback, for my franchise quarterback. Look at us. Did I just call Sam Howell a franchise? What has gotten into us today? Sam Howell's gotten into us. Pause. Super pause. Super fucking pause. But when you go back to the game, Sam showed some special arm talent today. Some of my favorite throws was the incompletion of De'Ami Brown. He put that ball in the money. He put that ball in the bread basket. He trying to save De'Ami Brown's job, and De'Ami Brown don't even want the job as bad as Sam Howell. Make it make fucking sense. Make it make fucking sense. What did he tweet last week? That he was over this shit? Well, I'm over you, bro. I'm over you, De'Ami Brown. Not only the throw to De'Ami Brown, but the touchdown throw to Jahan Dotson. Straight pitch and catch football. Arm arrogance. The spacing between him and Terry McLaurin wasn't the greatest. But guess what? When you out throwing coverage, you can get away with some of that shit. When you got the arm talent and the arm strength to out throw coverage, you can get away with some of that shit. And then you got Jahan Dotson over there taking the top off the defense. You can get away with some of that. And that's what the special offenses had. And that's the offenses that you need to win games. I love the quick passing from Eric Bieniemy over the course of the last couple of games. But that quick passing is only going to take you but so far. We can't rely on this young quarterback to just be dissecting these defenses drive after drive after drive, game after game. You need game-breaking plays. And that touchdown pass to Jahan Dotson was one. Another one of my favorite throws when he was standing in the pocket, facing pressure, throwing off his back foot. That fucking dime on third down to Terry McLaurin where he dragged his feet on the sideline. Great route by Terry, but that was a fucking dot. Like the end of a sentence. He got more dots than dipping. Like, what the fuck? Did y'all see some of these throws he was making today? And y'all wonder why I just called that boy the franchise a couple minutes ago. I ain't seen shit from that. I ain't seen shit like that since... I don't even want to say Kirk Cousins. I don't think Kirk Cousins was making some of these throws in Washington. Now, I don't even mean to speak with hyperbole and things like that, but Kirk Cousins wasn't slinging the pill all over the thing like this. He wasn't. Not in Washington. Not in Washington. In 2016, yes. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. But he had fucking prime Deshaun Jackson, prime Pierre Gasol, prime Jamison Crowder, who's doing this fucking thing back over here in Washington. Looking like prime Jamison Crowder again. But I'm just super, forgive me, I'm just super excited about what I saw from my quarterback today. That's my quarterback. You know, we don't get nice things at the quarterback position over here in Washington, so I got to cherish it. And then ultimately, my favorite play from Sam Howell today was a 3rd and 23 scramble where he was running fucking grown-ass men over. Where he's fucking running them grown-ass men over. Putting their ass on the fucking ground. Low-ass Sam Howell. Sam Howell's all of 6 fucking feet. On a good day. With a phone book under his cleats. Over there trucking defenders looking like a motherfucking fullback. Is that Sam Howell or is it Mike Allstott? Was that Sam Howell or was it Mike Allstott? Was that Sam Howell or was it fucking Peyton Hillis? Like, what the fuck? I almost had to change my fucking pants after that play. I ain't seen that shit since... We damn sure ain't seen that shit with Kirk. I ain't seen that shit since Robert. Robert wasn't running grown-ass men over like that. Hey, let me move on, man. Let me move on before I have to change my pants again. The running backs, they were looking spry today. My running backs were looking super spry today. Antonio Gibson had well over 100 all-purpose yards if you count the return yards. I think he had over 40 receiving yards in the passing game. He had over 30 rushing yards. Brian Robinson had 63 yards and a touchdown. And he showed explosiveness on that touchdown run. The same explosiveness that he showed when he outran Darius Slay last week. I ain't seen this type of explosiveness from Brian Robinson in his life. Not before the shooting last year, not at Alabama. Maybe leaning out, which we pointed out over here at Bleeding BnG in May. Maybe leaning out has really helped that aspect of his game. Because he's been running away from defenders lately, and it's beautiful to see. And he's going to need these big runs to help balance out these averages. Because he has a lot of 1 and 2 yard runs mixed in that motherfucker. Because guess what? He had 63 rushing yards, 18 carries. That was a 3.5 yard per carry ratio. And he had, 18 yards on that one touchdown run. So he's going to need to break a couple of these big runs to look good on paper. But I'm glad that he's showing that explosiveness. I love the running back duo today. Let me touch down Antonio Gibson today because I mentioned it. Antonio Gibson might have been up on the trade block. I think that this has Antonio Gibson's last year in Washington. But, I mean, I love the talent that Antonio Gibson has, right? I mean, he makes some plays that only Antonio Gibson can make. We were utilizing him in the screen game. He broke the game open with a 40-yard kick return to start the motherfucking game. Too bad we couldn't take advantage of that great field position. But Antonio Gibson is a modern-day football player. This is a guy that you want to get the ball to in space. I don't know. I know. I said he looked washed. He looks a little lost in his offense. But I'll be remiss because this is something that they do in the NFL. The Washington Commanders might be playing themselves within, or might be playing Antonio Gibson well within their price range, looking to potentially re-sign him. And it sounds crazy enough, but I think they really like what they have in this backfield between those two and Chris Rodriguez Jr. But this is an idea that spurned in my head when, Antonio Gibson didn't necessarily get traded at the trade deadline, is that Washington might be looking to potentially re-sign Antonio Gibson. They might be limiting his touches, limiting his snaps to potentially, restrict that price tag. And I'm not saying it's fair, and it's super unfair to Antonio Gibson. But we'll be naive and remiss to not mention that this happens in the NFL all the time. They might be playing themselves with AG so that, his counting stats don't look too crazy at the end of the year, so he can't demand too high of a contract. He'll look fucking nuts if he demands too high of a contract. And they might be, putting the feelers out there and, willing to match a moderate contract to keep Antonio Gibson on this roster. I wouldn't put it past this front office, this coaching staff. And I think that this is something that can come into play, especially when you see some of the things that Antonio Gibson did today. You wonder why he doesn't get the ball more, especially in the passing game. And a lot of it was Sam Howell was hitting not only the screen pass, but he hit Antonio Gibson as the check down on a couple of plays today. And this was the first couple of weeks that he's been looking for his check down. This week and this past week in Philly were the first times I ever seen him look for a fucking check down all season. But these are the lumps that I was talking about taking with our young quarterback, and I'm glad that he's showing improvement and building on these things. Because when you hit an Antonio Gibson in the check downs, you're able to unlock a whole new aspect of your offense. He's a chain mover. That's why J.D. McKissick was so essential to the offense in 2020. Chain movers are essential to offense, especially when you want to go quick passing game, which I think is best and most beneficial to this offense. You need guys that you can rely on moving the chains, and Antonio Gibson was one of those guys today, and hopefully he can continue to be that guy. Now, Brian Robinson did have a fumble today. I think this is his second fumble on the year, but that was a hell of a play by the Patriots defender. That was a hell of a punch out by the Patriots defender, and guess what? They get paid over there too. And I know that you think that we over here at BnG, all we do is criticize. But they say all you do is criticize. I know you just think that's all we do. But, I mean, nah. We'll big up NFL players where NFL players deserve to make a play. I just want my team to have the best side of the players on the NFL game. So, I mean, those guys get paid too. That was a hell of a punch out. That's something that I would like to see our defenders do, quite frankly. But yeah, the pass catchers, they were solid. They didn't go too crazy. Terry McLaurin had 5 for 73. Jahan Dotson had 4 for 69. And the touchdown that we had previously mentioned. Byron Pringle stepped up big time. Had over 50 yards on 3 receptions. One of my favorite plays was Sam showing that athletic arm arrogance again. Rolling all the way out to his right, damn near all the way out to the sideline. Throwing the ball all the way back to his left. Where nobody was. And Byron Pringle was just there to catch the ball and make something out of nothing. I was like, well, that's one way to beat the fucking blitz, Sam. Now, I don't want you to make a habit of it, but that's one way to beat the blitz. And Byron Pringle stepped up when his number was called. Curtis Samuel wasn't out there today. But with these pass catchers, Sam Howell threw to 9 of them. And like I said, Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Logan Thomas, fantasy managers might not love our offense and might not love what it is. But I will say this. Our wide receivers aren't making the most of their targets. They were solid today, but there were hella 50-50 balls missed. I mentioned the one that De'Ami Brown missed in the end zone. Jahan Dotson missed one in the first drive where we couldn't take advantage of the beautiful field position that Antonio Gibson gave us. Jahan Dotson been alligator arm and shit all season. Now he had a hell of a game, so I don't want you to think that I'm harping on him, but it is what it is. He alligator armed that target on the first possession. Now it wasn't necessarily a drop, I don't know. And Sam could have put it on him better, but guess what? This was your 16th pick. This is your first overall pick, and I'm not going to harp on it because he didn't have a bad game. But I'm sorry for wanting more out of my first-round receivers. I'm sorry for wanting these guys to live up to their pedigree. Even Terry McLaurin had a 50-50 ball that he couldn't come down with today. Terry McLaurin was bagging every fucking body left and right last year with Taylor Heineke. I need you to make some of these plays for my franchise quarterback. I need you to make these numbers look good. Fuck Taylor Heineke numbers. I don't give a damn. He was a journeyman no matter how Taylor Heineke could have threw for fucking 500 yards. We knew he wasn't the fucking answer at quarterback. So I need my pass catchers to make Sam Howell's numbers look amazing. I need them to come down with some of these 50-50 balls. But that's not to say that they played horrible today because they didn't. The offensive line was solid. Tyler Larson is fucking heaven sent. I think the stat is the Commanders are 7-2-1 in his run last year, and since he has gotten the start in the last 2 games this year, Tyler Larson is fucking heaven sent. And it's not that he does anything spectacular, but you know how important it is to have a center that can identify fucking calls, especially with a young quarterback. Have you guys noticed how vocal Sam has been at the line of scrimmage these last couple of games? And that's because he has a center that's identifying the checks and checking protections and checking slats for him. So he's able to keep his eyes downfield and identify these coverages, going back to the distribution of the passes to such and such wide receivers. Where you're able to keep your eyes downfield because you have faith in your center and making all of these coverages and making all of these calls. You're able to keep your eyes downfield, identify these coverages, and locate the receiver. And hit the receiver where the coverage dictates it. And play within structure of the offense. That's NFL football, guys. That's something that Nick Gates wasn't doing. And why are we surprised? Nick Gates was a fucking... He excelled at fucking guard in New York. Everybody in New York, when we signed Nick Gates, told you he was a better guard. We were just too naive to not fucking believe him. I love Nick Gates at the beginning of the season. I love his wide receiver swag. But this nigga couldn't fucking identify a fucking blitz to save his fucking life. And you can't have that at the center position in the NFL. You just simply can't have it. That's one of the few reasons that Tyler Larson is heaven sent. And I think the offensive line is starting to show continuity. I told you that Sam took 3 sacks today. I know one for sure was on Charles Leno. I got to go back and see if the other 2 were on Sam. Because it has a propensity to be. It is what it is with Sam Howell over the course of the season. But I gotta go back and see who of those other 2 sacks were on. But I thought that Chris Paul was solid. Chris Paul is fucking immovable in pass protection. Now I'm starting to see he's not the best in space. He has a hard time dealing with some stunts and things like that. But in fucking pass pro, when he's just got a man on man, mano a mano, he's a fucking he's a brick wall. He's a fucking brick wall. And it's crazy to see that, Ron Rivera, the GM, the head coach, he saw these offensive linemen all training camp. I told y'all in August, go back and watch the tape. I told y'all that Chris Paul needs to win this left guard job. Now, I knew that Tyler Larson wasn't going to beat out Nick Gates simply because of economics. Nick Gates signed a pretty hefty free agent deal. Tyler Larson was coming back from an injury. But why did it take this fucking long to figure out that this was the offensive line unit to get it done? Because guess what? With this offensive line, you've unlocked a whole nother portion of your offense when you give Sam Howell time. Sam Howell is a special quarterback when he has time. Now, does he do some bonehead shit? Absolutely. But that's to be expected with a 22, 23-year-old quarterback. But some of the throws that I've seen him make when he has fucking time, it's simply remarkable to say the least. And some things that I haven't seen in a Washington uniform in years. So going on to the defense. The defense played okay today. The defense needs to thank the big man upstairs. They need to thank whoever they prayed to that they were facing fucking Mac Jones today. And Mac Jones is some fucking shit. Mac Jones fucking sucks. It feels good to go in a couple of these games and know that we have the advantage at quarterback. Because in my lifetime, I haven't had the capability of saying that in too many games. Especially against these young quarterbacks. Mac Jones was a first-round pick in his third year. So he still has the tag of a young quarterback. And Sam Howell thoroughly outplayed him today. The defense needs to be thanking the big man upstairs that they had to play fucking Mac Jones today. Because they let a couple of guys get loose and Mac Jones just simply missed him because he's fucking ass. Mac Jones is not that guy, pal. Nah. Matthew McCorkle-Jones is not that guy. And he's going to be playing. He's going to be fighting for a starting job going into the next season. Because he hasn't shown me anything this season. And then he be throwing all these little bitch fits on the sideline like he really him. Like he over there elevating the offense and everybody selling him short. Nah. And you saw it from the jump. On fourth down, the Patriots are driving. This is an offense that hasn't had an opening drive touchdown all season, but they driving on Washington. They bold enough to go for it. That shows you nobody fears our defense. They bold enough to go for it on 4th and 3. Tyquan Thornton's running wide fucking open and Mac Jones just misses him. So am I to praise the defense or am I just here to acknowledge that Mac Jones is some fucking shit? I think I'll choose the latter. Speaking of the defense, though, Emmanuel Forbes had a solid game today. And Tyquan Thornton is the type of guy that you match him up against to get his confidence back. Because Tyquan Thornton's routes are fucking dirt. Those routes are fucking shit. He rounding off routes at the top. My grandmother could have checked fucking Tyquan Thornton today. Or any fucking week if he running with routes like that. Patriots fan, is Tyquan Thornton literally, is he the worst route runner in the NFL? And I'm glad that Emmanuel Forbes showed that today. And I'm not here to give him all praise. I'm not saying, oh man, he's first round draft pick, shutdown quarter, draft pick justified. Nah. He faced the Walmart brand, the great value brand receivers today. I'm faster than Juju Smith-Schuster at this point in his career. I run routes better than Tyquan Thornton. But I'm glad that, they put him out there. They put him to start because this is exactly the type of receiver course that you put him out there against to get his confidence back because them niggas fucking suck. Bill, what the fuck y'all got going up there in New England? Jamin Davis had a rough day today. They were picking on him in the pass game. And then he got exploited on a big run by Ramondre Stevenson for the big touchdown on the long game. He took fucking forever to fill. Taking a page out of Cody Barton's book. And us over here as, vice president of the Jamin Davis fan club, making us fucking look bad, Jamin. But he did bounce back and make a play, breaking up the wheel route on 4th down in the 4th quarter, on 3rd down in the 4th quarter. Now, I will mention that Mac Jones did underthrow that wheel route because he's fucking shit. But hey, Jamin Davis still made the play, right? You can only do what is asked of you, right? You can only do what is asked of you. Quan Martin had a decent game. He called ball game. And quite the antithesis of last week. Vice versa from last week where if you go check out our reaction video, I talked about how A.J. Brown sledded both Emmanuel Forbes and Quan Martin out. He was just running the train over on our 2023 draft class. Our 2023 draft class stepped up today. I mentioned Emmanuel Forbes had a solid game. Quan Martin had an interception on a difficult batted pass. A lot of DBs aren't making that catch. Chris Rodriguez had a big tackle on special teams. Andre Jones had a batted pass. The draft class showed up today. And you see what happens when you get just marginal impact from your draft class, from your young guys on these cheap contracts. You see the type of impact that it has on winning. And then KJ Henry, our 5th round draft pick. would have had what would have been his first career sack. Not only that, it was a strip sack. But the NFL fucking screwed him. Because the NFL is fucking dog shit. Because referees across the league are fucking dog shit in 2023. Who the fuck are going to hold them accountable? Hey, NFL, I thought that y'all were going to stop fucking us once Dan Snyder sold the fucking team, bro. And I'm usually not a blame the refs guy, but how can you not be when you've been a fan of the Washington Redskins football team, Washington Commanders? Y'all been hoeing us for years, bro. Y'all been fucking us over for years. And this is not hyperbole. That was potentially the worst fucking rougher than the passer call I've seen in my 28 years of life, bro. You robbed that young man of that moment. His first career sack. Not only that, a strip sack at that. The refs were fucking putrid today. You missed the offensive pass interference, robbing Emmanuel Forbes of his second interception of his career. They missed a couple of pass interferences in the first half on the Patriots. You would have thought that Tom Brady was still on the fucking Patriots the way that the refs were trying to keep them niggas in the fucking game today. There was a deep shot. I think it was either in the first or second quarter. I know it was in the first half for sure. Where Jahan Dotson had to reach out for one hand. Why the fuck do you think he was reaching out for one hand? Because the DB was grabbing his fucking other one. Right in front of the ref. And he just Ray Charles to the bullshit. Dude's tugging on fucking Logan Thomas' jersey clear as day on third down in the back of the fucking end zone. That's a pass interference in the fucking end zone. You know where that gets you? To the 1 yard line. You know what's happening after that with fucking Brian Robinson? We're scoring. Y'all gotta be better. Y'all gotta be better. Because that's the type of shit that has impacts on wins and losses. And we need every win we could get. Because as I sat throughout this game, it was a rather uneventful game, but this team that played today was good enough to beat the fucking New York Giants. This team that played today was good enough to beat the Chicago Bears, and we let them 2 games slip through our fucking cracks. Slip through the fucking cracks. But positive vibes. It's a victory Monday. So a Washington win on a Sunday always sets the mood for a great week. On the road to Seattle next week. Is this the start of the Mickey Mouse win streak? You know we good for 1 3-game win streak in fucking November. Is this the start of it? Do we go out to Seattle, win that one, and then come back and face the New York Giants on November 19th? I think that's a blackout as well. It helps to potentially, winning 3 in a row and going, 6, 7, and 5 at that point? 6 and 5 at that point? And you right in the thick of the playoffs at that point. That sounds like the Ron Rivera era in a nutshell. Are y'all ready for that again this season? I wouldn't be opposed to it. Just promise me that you don't give me the same letdown that you give me in December that you've been giving me the last 2 years with this Mickey Mouse win streak. Like, if we go Mickey Mouse it, let's Mickey Mouse it all the way. Let's get into the playoffs at 8-1. Straight New York Giants 2007. Let's get in there 9-8. If you're gonna do it. Or let's just go undefeated and get in there at 12-5. I'll take it any which way I can get it. But that'll do it for this episode of the BnG podcast. As I mentioned before, for our 1,000 subscriber giveaway, we're going to be sending one of you lucky guys to a Commanders game on our dime, on our behalf. But this is what you have to do. So it's hard to do a random generator. You know, I'm trying to be as fair as possible over here at Bleeding BnG. I don't want y'all over here saying, oh, Jalen he got favorites. He picked one of his favorites. So I'm trying to be as fair as possible. So this is what we're going to do. Now that we're a part of the YouTube Payment Partner program, we have these thing called memberships, guys. And this is what I need you to do. I need you to sign up for our membership. Or if you want to, I don't need you to do anything. Let me rephrase that. If you want to potentially go to the Washington Commander game on our behalf, this is what I need you to do. I need you to go over there. I need you to sign up for our membership. It's only $5. And we're going to take our first 10 members that sign up for the membership. We're going to put them in a random generator. And we're going to pick one of those first 10 members to go to the Washington Commanders game. So that's how we're going to do it. So let me rephrase that. Let me go over those directions again. We have something called YouTube memberships. Go be a part of the BnG Mafia. You get exclusive perks like tickets to a Commanders game, like exclusive access, exclusive content from the channel. So this is what we're going to do. If you want to go ahead and be that 1,000 subscriber giveaway winner, I need you to sign up for the memberships. Our first 10 members, our first 10 subscribers that subscribe or sign up for the membership, they're going to be put into a generator, and then one of those lucky 10 people are going to have the chance to attend a Washington Commander game on our behalf. As always, if you're checking us out on audio-only platforms such as Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave a rating, leave a review. That's how we finesse these algorithms so that when you're searching anything Bleeding BnG or anything Washington Commanders, Bleeding BnG is your number one content hub. As always, if you're not following us on social media, follow our X. Our X is at Bleeding BnG. That's BLEEDIN. BnG. So there's only one G in our X handle, and then our Instagram is at Bleeding BnG. That's BLEEDING BnG. So we spell bleed in the normal way, the more proper way, over there on Instagram with 2 G. So go ahead and check out our social media pages. Go ahead and follow us. Go ahead and sign up for the memberships. Be a part of our Bleeding BnG family. Go ahead and check the page. Our reaction video dropping tomorrow. Our reaction video is going stupid over there on YouTube. You know we get the most raw, uncut, and unfiltered analysis. Y'all love the reaction video. So come back, check the channel tomorrow for the reaction video to the game, and I'll check in on y'all later. Peace.